The Life of Tulasi Devi was written and narrated by Amal Bhakta Dasa, and he, of course, was motivated by E.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and he goes quite a bit into the types of what you'd call sympathetic or contagious magic, amulets and charms in particular, the types of things that relate to the worship with the basil. And Tulasi Devi is in a way a sort of Mary figure, you know, as in how the Christians that decide to pray to Mary are otherwise treat Mary as a divinity, well, as a deity, are going to, you know, think of her, because more or less an ascended master sort of myth. So with this, we have backstories matter in ways beyond form. Sympathetic magic is more about association with devotion than forms. You know, your intention, your consciousness are a lot more important than the wealth involved. You know, that thing where you're piling up a bunch of sacrifices and using all this wealth and all that stuff, that's not quite the point, because sometimes the poor person who does just a little is content, has accomplished more. Female beings are of the unseen, shayateen, minal jinn, what's the feminine? But, you know, the female demons will be angered by the matchless. The ash of the feminine power of living is for the masculine power of dying. But in a pantheistic or polytheistic way of looking at this thing, or a psychological way of looking at this thing, you can't mix certain things. Certain male and female attributes, as we're going to call them. A lot of this genderization, other than just being a male or female, is just, you know, it's not, what's the word? You know, it's not, it's socialization more than actualization. But there are definite things about being a male and female, and biology only has two. It does. You know, fine, you may identify with whatever, that's your choice, but, you know, don't force that on others. And the ash of the feminine power of living is for the masculine power of dying. Again, you know, certain parts of the plants, if they're burnt and used for other things and other sorts of symbols, the liniment and the yoni and all that other stuff. Look at them, the yoni. All divinity is the same divine essence, but the devotees tend to lose sight of that. It's like, oh, I'll worship the God of heaven, I'll worship the God of this world, I'll worship this, and it's like, same divine power. It's all, you know. The worship of giving over control and by self-control don't always mix. So try different types of worship, but don't like have a conflict in the middle of your ritual or your ceremony or whatever. The prophetic vision and counsel of spiritual beings is for all life, from family to politics. And in her development, Tulasi Devi is, you know, a prophet figure, has a vision, and this is the wife. And some of this is kind of hilarious in modern terms because we don't think of that, but I guess we're switching back because of, you know, the glorification of obesity and stuff like this. Is that, you know, the guy is like, this woman has 3 folds of fat here. You know, you don't want the woman with 2 chins, you want 3 or 4. And, you know, so he's like, such a girth, I must go. You know, first time I listened to this, that caught me off guard. I didn't expect quite like that. But the so that's one of the things going on with that. But she has her spiritual counsel, and she she's corrected, you know, these feminist and chauvinist ideas of women. No, the differences don't mean that you're flawed. The differences mean that, you know, here's different things that you have to work with or work out or whatever. And then we have the battle, you know, this, oh, well, she earned her position of becoming this guy's wife, and he earned that, but he had to die in order for divinity to fully take on the role and for her to become an exalted master and all that stuff. But she is corrected in her perception and put like on the right path. So again, society has this thing, and what we're doing right now is kind of, not fixing things. But by backstories matter in ways beyond form. I mean that even when some of these things are literally true, there's lessons to it. Now, when it talks about these big long battles that are just, ridiculous, sort of, but they're meaningful. Like, to emphasize the significance of this group, of this person, of the day and night cycles, of the weather, of the creation of the universe, and the 7 days of creation that you hear elsewhere. Sometimes that way of thinking is not put in those terms, and you have that. So basically, all of nature works together. Positions in society and everything else can change, and each acts in one's things, and eventually the rulers in this way are going to have to change over, and not just their descendants, and but also at the end, all these wars and stuff, it's not really the point.